So I managed to land a few bass this week from the kayak. This is a small one. I'm actually using 3-line prawn here. So I'm casting it up tide, letting it drift past the obstructions. Managed to get a nice little schoolie there. Slightly bigger one later on. We'll check that out shortly. So it's always a little bit clumsy having the bass in the boat, but what I've had to do here, because it's hit it so hard, it's hit that prawn so hard, it's taken it right down. So the easiest thing I can do is pull the treble hook through, and then I've quickly cut that hook off, and now I can release the fish. Well, it's the craziness of the mackerel season. Well, I've come here to the local beach to see if I can catch some mackerel. I tried to find a little spot away from all the crowds, and we're going to try and make it a little bit lighter, maybe try a bit of fly fishing for these mackerel, because standing shoulder to shoulder like you get on the Admiralty Pier, and just lines of people, almost factory farming for the mackerel, not really my cup of tea. If you like that sort of fishing, fair enough, but I think I need a little bit of space to be able to cast and choose where I want to fish, so we'll give it a go. I've got some sabikis on there with a little lure. Rather than use a lead, sometimes I put on that little Dexter wedge on there, and I actually prefer those little sabikis. So of course the easiest way to catch a mackerel is on something like a 3-ounce, from the beach anyways, from a 3-ounce bass rod, 3-ounce lead and sabikis. And that's what I'm doing now, just to see if the fish are there. But you'll probably pick up more mackerel by using a 6-ounce lead and a beach rod. It just creates more bubbles and what have you through the water. But just using this little lure rod, all I want to do really is see if the mackerel are actually in here. As I say, the water's beautifully clear. As for how close they're in, I'm not sure. Because it's quite shallow here, I'm just bouncing the lead off the bottom and letting it flick up and drop down again. And the tide's about right because it's on the ebb here, and the mackerel like that here, just on this spot. It's easy enough to catch a mackerel with strings of 6 and thrashing it through the water. Things get a bit trickier when you're using the fly rod. But the advantage of this is you treat that mackerel like a real sporting fish. Something that you can enjoy the fight of, like the mini tuna that it is. So a little bit tougher, but we're going to try and, from the shore, with a bit of my very average casting, see if we can get a mackerel with the fly rod. Conditions are quite good today. There's a little bit of chop in the water, but it's beautifully clear, and hopefully the mackerel will see the fly and come and get it. We have done a video, this one here, how to make your own mackerel feathers, if you're that way inclined. There's a lot of effort involved in that though. It's a lot easier to spend £1 down at the fishing shop. So strangely, so far, no mackerel. So we're up on this high promenade in the wind. I don't know if you can hear us. Just hitting into the mackerel now. I can tell that these are mackerel. Here they come. Okay, so we're in. Well, it's not a mackerel. Ha ha! Beautiful. It's a lovely croaking tub Gurnard. Such a beautiful little fish. I don't know if you're getting those colours on there. What a lovely fish we've caught. Yeah, lovely, mate. So it's not just the mackerel here. You can catch the tub gurnards too. Let's put him back straight away. What a beautiful fish this is. The colour on him. Look. Lovely. Right, I'll lower him down and try and put him back. Well, for all my showing off about fly fishing, I struggled a little bit here. It was very hard to cast with a heavier weighted fly. Certainly more practice needed in this area. But we'll come on to it in future videos, I think. Also got amongst the bigger bass in the lures here. This fish was on the lure. I take the middle treble off and then I crimp the barbs as well. That's the MegaBass Zonk actually. I'll leave a link for that underneath because they're fantastic lures. So I'm not actually pressing its eye, I'm just covering its eye there. Oh, there we go, I was happy with that. Looks a bit bigger in the thumbnail. It's about £4 that come up, I think. If you click that bell icon and subscribe, then I can keep you up to date on what's being caught, and hopefully I can give you some tips and we can learn along the way together.